With the Olympics coming up, you're probably going to be watching a lot of figure skating. Maybe you're brand new to the sport, or maybe you've been watching for a really long time and you just want to learn a little bit more. Well, you're in luck, because in this video, we're going to go over everything Figure Skating 101. My name is Adam Rippon, and I am an Olympic figure skater. And I want nothing more than to pass my knowledge on to you. We're going to go over all the basics. The jumps, the spins, we're gonna learn about the boots and the blades, and then we're gonna learn how all of this and all the skaters are judged. So whether you're watching for the first time or you just wanna know a little bit more, oh, you're definitely in the right place. Class is in session, let's go. The first thing you need to know, there are 6 main jumps in figure skating. 3 of them are edge jumps, 3 of them are toe jumps. The toe jumps use the toe pick to help launch the skater into the air, and the edge jumps are just from the edge. Pretty self-explanatory. Let's start with the toe loop. The toe loop starts out on the landing leg. The free leg taps into the ice, and that tap helps the skater launch that dominant leg through to get into the air. Our next jump is the sow cow. So the sow cow will start off on the non-dominant foot, going backwards on a back inside edge. The skater will then take that edge really deep to swing their dominant leg through to get into the air. Our next jump, the loop jump. The loop jump is another edge jump where the skater takes off and lands on the same foot. It's quick, it's compact, but it's very difficult because everything is just on one leg. Our next jump is the flip jump. For the flip jump, the skater will be taking off on a back inside edge, use their landing leg to tap and launch themselves into the air. Our next jump, the Lutz. Now the Lutz and the flip are very similar except for one major difference. When the skater is tapping their dominant leg into the ice, that free leg has to be on a backward outside edge. Now this makes it more difficult than the flip because that outside edge is actually traveling in a counter rotation to which the skater needs to be in the air. Our final jump, and probably the most famous one, is the axel. Now the axel takes off on a forward outside edge. It's also the only jump that takes off forward. And so because of the forward takeoff, it requires an extra half rotation. So a single axel is 1.5 rotations, a double 2.5, a triple 3.5, a quadruple 4.5. The axel jump was invented by this guy named Axel Paulsen, who is dead. And I don't want it to, actually everybody who invented all of these jumps is dead. So, take that with a grain of salt. The jumps are all about height, rotation, and control. But once you're back on the ice, that's where the spins come in. Spins in figure skating are what we call a leveled element. That means skaters earn points not just for spinning, but for how difficult the spin is. Skaters add challenging entries, exits, and variations to achieve the highest level possible, a level 4, which feels like a random number for that to be the highest level, but don't shoot the messenger. Before we get into the difficulty, let's begin with the basics. There are 3 basic spin positions. First, the camel spin. This is when the skater spins with the free leg extended behind them. Next is the sit spin. In this spin, the skater needs to be sitting at least a 90-degree angle to the ice while in this position. The lower, the better. I said they were basic, I didn't say they were easy. And finally, the upright spin, where the skating leg stays straight. One famous type of upright spin is a layback spin, where the skater leans backward with their free leg extended. Now, how do skaters get a level 4? They do what are called difficult variations. That means taking those basic positions and making them slightly more difficult. For example, in a sit spin, a skater might pull their head to their knee or extend their free leg to the side. These changes shift the skater's center of gravity. They require extra flexibility, which makes the spin much more difficult to control. Some of these difficult variations can look really cool, but I will be honest with you, some of them look really ugly. But sometimes, listen, you don't hate the player, hate the game. Because of how the rules are written right now, it is extremely difficult to hit every single bullet point to get a level 4. You gotta get your points. So yeah, sometimes in order to get the highest level, the skaters have to be a little creative. There are 3 spins in each of their programs, and they can't repeat any of these variations on any of their other spins. So getting a level 4 is not easy, but the best skaters make everything look beautiful and make you forget how difficult so many of these difficult variations actually are. Obviously, none of those spins are gonna happen if you don't have the right equipment. So now, let's take a closer look at the boots and blades. We'll start with the boots. These are actually 2 different pieces of equipment that get attached to one another. A figure skating boot is essentially just like an expensive shoe, but it's a shoe that needs a lot of support. So around the ankle, it's very stiff. Your boots need to be strong enough to handle the impact of your jumps, spins, and honestly, all the turmoil you're about to put them through. They need to be stiff enough to support you, but soft enough that you can actually bend in them. Now, let's talk about the blades. Most of the time, the blade is mounted directly in the center of the boot, but sometimes it can be adjusted slightly inside or outside, depending on a skater's natural alignment and skating mechanics. Every figure skating blade has a toe pick at the front, which is like a toe that picks. We mainly use the toe pick to assist with jumps, but it's also used for certain steps, hops, and turns. Now, a figure skating blade is not flat. It can look flat, but it's not. From the toe pick to the heel, the blade has a curve called a rocker. A deeper rocker allows for quicker turns, but it also requires a lot more control. Figure skating blades also have 2 edges, an outside edge and an inside edge. To make those edges work, the blade is sharpened with something called a hollow. Now, a hollow is basically a small groove down the center of the blade. The deeper the hollow, the more grip a skater feels on the ice when doing their edges. Now, how deep that hollow is a total personal preference. Some skaters like a deeper hollow for more grip, especially on their jumps. I personally preferred a more shallow hollow because it makes it easier to gain speed and helps with fast spins. And now when you're watching the Olympics, you'll know that the boots aren't just something that have knives attached to the bottom of them. They're tools that help the skater do all the crazy and amazing things that you'll see them do during the Olympic Games. Now you know what the skaters are doing. Jumps, spins. Now you know what they're doing them on, the boots and the blades. Let's talk about how all of this is judged. So there are 2 parts to every score. Let's start with the first part, the technical score. Every program is made of specific elements that the skaters are allowed to perform. Figure skating isn't about just doing the hardest things possible. It's about doing what you can do well as possible. Getting a good score is all about strategy. Every element has a base value, which is the number of points each element is worth. The harder the element, the higher the base value. And this goes for spins, jumps, steps, everything. Then the judges apply something called the grade of execution. We call it GOE for short. This sliding scale from -5 to +5 is how the judges will score each individual element. At the end of every routine, a skater will have a technical base value, which is just the total of all the elements added together. But here's the key to getting a lot of points. If a skater skates a really good program and has really great elements, they can sometimes earn upwards of 20 points or even more in GOE alone. That's why the strategy really matters. Sometimes a winning strategy isn't about doing the hardest layout. Sometimes it can be doing slightly easier elements extremely well. Now, in this scoring system, one mistake is not the end of the world. Yes, there are deductions for falling or for ending a program after the allotted amount of time, and you obviously want to avoid those. But if you fall once and still perform your high-earning elements well, you are still collecting a lot of points. Figure skating is a game of accumulation. You need points. Small mistakes can chip away at your GOE, just like great elements can build it up. The second part of the skater's mark is called the program components. This is like the artistic score. The judges evaluate composition, skating skills, and presentation. Got it? Composition looks at how the program was put together. Does it utilize the full ice surface? Do the movements and elements match the music? Skating skills are all about quality. Can they move across the rink smoothly, with power, control, and speed? And finally, presentation. This one is the easiest to understand. Presentation is just about connection. Selling the performance, making the audience feel something. At the end of the day, the judges are just part of the audience, and you want them to feel something at the end of your performance. And that is it for Figure Skating 101. I hope that now when you watch figure skating, you can go, hey, I know what that jump is. And it's all thanks to this video, maybe. Or maybe not, maybe you already knew, and then you just wanted to watch this video anyway. Regardless, I'm glad you're here. I'm Adam Rippon, and happy skating.